Okay, now you can hear me. Last time you weren't able to hear me and it was a whole thing and we're just gonna say that was a lip reading stream and or a mime stream. There you go. I talked about the sound that it made whenever the game opened and I was like, oh, there it is. Nobody could hear it, so I was just staring and I was like, yeah, nothing. Okay, well anyways, we're back after a slight delay. We're streaming in 720p because my internet cannot handle 1080. But that's okay because it makes for a much smoother time and yeah, it's easier on everybody's internet, mine and yours. So it is what it is. Thanks, Annie. Give me a high five. Kinda. Well, anyways, we're live tonight. We're gonna be playing some new games. We're playing Death's Door. No, we're not. I lied. Sorry, I just looked at the game. I literally looked down. It was right in front of me. We are playing Security Booth and Before Your Eyes. Security Booth is it's kind of spooky, I guess. I don't know much about it. I try not to look too much into games. And it's really short. It's like 10 minutes long. There's 2 endings, so we'll probably play it twice. And the second game, Before Your Eyes, you progress with your camera. So it'll go off of you blinking, which I might need to put my webcam over here. That way you can see me straight on. Yeah, it should work out just fine. We'll see. But it's supposed to be very nice. It's supposed to be a good story. Kind of sad, but we love that. Love that. A little sad is okay. But yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like right now. And tomorrow we are playing Death's Door, which is it reminds me of Studio Ghibli a little bit in the art style. And it's kind of what's the word? Metroidvania, I think they use for it. Oh, and you got some the echo? Yeah, you got some echo back there. Look at her. What a girl. Yeah, it's a really cool game. It looks really cool. I usually don't play a lot of games like that, so tomorrow we're gonna be starting that. Like I said, Security Booth is only like 10 minutes. Before Your Eyes is about 2 hours. And then after that, we're probably going to play some DVD or Valorant with Noah. So yeah, that's kind of what the stream is going to look like today. Also, I got a new leaf on this plant back here. So, you know, we're celebrating. And then a really tiny one, you can just see the start of a new leaf coming in. The start of a new leaf is coming in. But it is a good time. All right. I think we're just about ready to get going here. I gotta start Before Your Eyes. Not Before Your Eyes. I have to start Security Booth. Okay. Here we go. You ready? I'm gonna turn the music off so we can get full effect. Yeah. Wham. I'm a big fan of that logo. And last time it happened, I was like, man, I had a PS1 whenever I was a kid and I played some Ninja Turtles games. And they were real good. You're getting the short end of the story. I already said all that. And then we got about here and I couldn't figure out how to click play, and we figured out that it was E. I still don't know what happens if I click escape. I don't know. I clicked escape and couldn't figure out how to get back, so we're just not going to do that. So anyways, let me change the game over real quick. Security booth. Security booth. All right. Are we all ready? Are you ready to play? So there's a lot of games like this on, I think it's pronounced itch.io or itch.io, itch.io. And we're going to be playing those kind of here and there throughout this month, next month. Yeah, just this month and next month, leading up to October, where we have all of our big spooky games. So these are just kind of some smaller things to play. Just in anticipation as the weather starts to get cooler. Hey, pal. Great night we're having. Good things to come, I think. Mind letting me in? What? Oh, that's them talking. G1269R. So what we have here, we have a phone, job rules. Make sure to talk to the person in the car. They must work here. Check person's license plate in front of their car. If the person's license plate is on the employee register, let them in. If they are not on the register, you must tell them to leave. Only open the gate to employees. Keep the gate closed until you've checked the person's plate ID. And I guess these buttons are the gates. Okay, so we'll go in here. I completely forgot their license plate already. Hey, sir. Mind letting me look at your car again? G1269R. G12... Hey. G1269R. G12... I'm not seeing it. Oh, yeah. Stefan Oprisan. There we go. And will the gate open? Oh, very slowly. Okay. All right. Hey, have a good day, sir. There he goes. Turn the volume up a little bit. Woo. All right, you can't really read anything. It's so pixelated. It's supposed to be. That's the style of it. Well, we got another. Oh, we're going out the other door for style points. It's going right over the speed bump. Okay. By night. Bet that's nice. Today just feels like it's gonna be hell. Oh God. Let me in. We'll see about that. Leo N31. Leo N31. Yeah, Leo N31. I don't really know what happens in this game. I just know it's supposed to be kind of spooky. I don't know how. But it's like 10 minutes. It's supposed to be spooky, and there's 2 endings. I guess we might play it again and let somebody in who's not supposed to. Maybe that's it. No one is on the line. Oh, this car looks different. Hey, you're probably not supposed to be here, are you? Almost pulled a sick day. Today's just just 2... That's supposed to be TOO. Come on. Let me know when I can go in. Oh, he didn't ask. What is this? Nova Nexus. Never heard of it. Good boy. Aw, he's a good boy. Aw. We'll see about that. I don't know. Oh! You know what? You can't spell, but you are truthful to your plate. Have a good day, Mr. Good Boy. I guess this is supposed to be really early in the morning. I think. What happens if we go explore? Stop. Oh, okay, that's as far as we can explore. Oh. Oh, just running me over. What the hell? Oh, we're gonna talk to him on his driver's side. Here we go. Switch things up. Night shift again? I hear that, I doubt tonight will drag on too much. TOO. That's 2 people in a row. Not for me, at least. Can I go in? That sounds a little suspicious. XT2 M28. XT2. I'm trying to remember a number. You can't open back up. You can't flicker the lights at me. XT2. I already fucking forgot. XT2 M28. XT2 M28. Okay, we got this. XT2. We're looking for the first one first. XT2 M28. Mario. I don't know what that second is supposed to be. You know what? We're gonna. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're supposed to. Yeah. Have a good night, Mario. This light was flickering on us. Ugh. What happens if I just open this randomly? Okay. Oh my god. That scared me a little bit. Okay.
Error code 0 5 0 4 7 7. Error code 0 5 0 4 7 7.
Is this like a
error code?
Okay. Oh, it's a car. Wait. No. I thought I heard a car. No. Hmm? Hello? Rather be home playing games, but I got called in for an emergency. Could you let me in? Oh, I can't. Oh, there we go. AU87UI? I think? AU87UI. AU87UI. AU8. I don't see it. AU87UI. Yeah, Ellen Brown. E, go right in. 050488. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Are we supposed to remember that? There they go. I don't know. Let's check this again. Huh. Ooh, wait. What's this? Can we read this? Oh, ooh. Here we go. 12/6/96. Oh, wow. I wasn't even alive yet. Not even a thought. The excitement is rushed. We are so close to finishing the experiment. We've had a few accidents. Someone called Natasha died last week, but it's all worth it in my opinion. Rip Natasha. I guess for the cause or something. I don't know. Who are you? FA5A48. Oh, there's a car back there. Are they? Wait. Wait. Is that a person? FA5A48. Yeah. I'm just gonna stay in here. I don't like that. Yeah, I can't zoom in, but he's there. Like, Oh. Get back in your car. I want to take a sip of coffee, but I feel like I'm gonna get scared and choke on it. I don't think... Oh! Okay. Hi. I don't think I was supposed to read that note. But then again... Fuck. What? Why would they tape it up there if they don't want me to read it? Oh my fucking god! Oh.
System failure. System failure. System failure. System failure. System failure. System failure.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Yoshi. How's the night? Oh no. That's the guy that was looking at us. I don't know if I want to do that. Okay. This is Nova Nexus HQ, right? First day, got a little lost, running late. Mind letting me in? DE4 T93. Oh my god. DE4 T93. DE4 T93. DE4 T93. DE4 T93. DE4 T93. I don't see it. It's not on here. It's not on here. I'm getting back in the booth. What is the typing sound? Okay. Oh, fuck. We're gonna pause real quick. It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday. It's so sad. It's Sunday for me. I don't know. I don't know how you're still in Saturday. Ooh. It's crazy. There's a bloody handprint. Also, yeah, I don't know how I read either, because that clearly says Sunday. That clearly says Sunday, and I read it as Saturday for some reason. You know, you're just as confused as I am at this point, probably. Maybe not as much, I guess. Oh my god. Well, anyways, yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, well, I guess back to the game. Oh man, there's a bloody handprint on the window now. Hi there. How did that get there? There's nobody there. Do we have to? Ugh. We gotta go deal with it, I guess. Nope. Open back up. I can't clean that off. Oh, no need to curse at me, sir. Oh!
Emergency. Emergency. Lockdown system activated. Security weapons activated. Oxygen levels reducing. Your families will be informed of your death.
Oh.
Emergency. Emergency. Lockdown system activated.
I'm outside.
Security weapons active.
What do you mean oxygen levels? A note. Oh my God. Look, guys, look. I hate that background music. 020796. Finally, the experiment has improved. I'm so excited. I feel that classified will really change this company in the world for the better. Looks like it's coming together now. After the weekend, it's time for the experiment. As long as we don't get error code 050477. That was it. Which never happens. Everything. Okay. Yeah, we got that error code already, so that's definitely not another note. Okay, after this car goes. Oh? Why the hell are you stopping? Oh, I have to close it? Is that it? I mean, you don't have to stop. Should I go read the note? Are they not going to move until I talk to them? Okay, let's go read the note. They're not going to move. We got this. Okay. 240696. The director is still running tests. I'm going to shoot him if this goes on any longer. Okay. I guess we talked to... Okay. Well, anyways, that's security booth. That was a good game. It was like a short, sweet. Man, what else you got going on tonight, Yoshi? I don't think anybody was... I don't know what the other ending is. We'd like have to play it all again and then let the person that's not supposed to go in. Let's try it. I want to see both endings. I feel like the other one is by you letting somebody in who's not supposed to be. 090796. Okay. Oh. I managed to turn myself around somehow. Yeah, the notes weren't there because there's a note there, there, and there. But this is where the first note appears. Hey, yo, Mr. Ka. How's it going? Hey, yeah, mind letting you in? Sure. Nova Nexus. G1269R. I already know you're supposed to go in. We already know. Have a good day, sir. Honestly, we're just letting everybody in. It doesn't fucking matter. Let them all in. We're gonna die anyways. It's fine. That's a lot sooner than I remember. These don't change, right? I'm looking for 69R at the end. 69R. 69R. Oh, shit, do they change? They might. Oh well, fuck it. Go on in. Have a good day. This is our first and last day on the job. Or sorry, no, our second and last day on the job. Mind you, we worked last time. We did. Also, exciting stuff. I'm not dropping a shit ton of frames. So everything's actually smooth and you can see what the fuck is going on. Love it. And I got my coffee in my cute little cup. Kind of hard to see. Hey, bud. What if I turned everybody away? Would that make an ending? Do we still have bubbles for a bubble bath? I know. You know what? Fuck it. Go on. I wonder if we turned everybody away. Here. We'll check after the game. Have a good day, sir. Let me know how it goes. Oh no. I was like, what if we approach that one guy, but we can't go past this? Like, oh wait. Oh no, we can't go past this. I thought the speed bump was our limit. Well, the note hasn't appeared yet. Yeah, I wonder if ending 2 is if we... What if we turned everybody away? Maybe that's the other ending. We'll see. If we don't get ending 2, we'll try it. Because it told us ending 1. So let everybody in. Turn everybody away. Bye, Miss... Oh. Drifting around the corner. Hell yeah. Jeez. Oh. Oh.
Error code.
Okay, error code. We got it. And... Oh, come on. All right. We read the note. We got that. Error code. Stuff is going wrong. It's blowing up and cars are... Going all the way there. You know what? Fuck it. Just go in. Have a good time. Bring some presents for me. There's only one person that... Yeah, there's only one person that gets turned away. We're speeding things up. Hello? Next in line, please, for the security booth. You want to fight? Oh, hold on. Hey, you want to fight? Trying to abduct me. Don't worry, I'm gonna be dead in a second anyways. Which one are you? Is this the first day on the job? Yeah, go in. Fuck it. Hey, you. You tussle. Want to tussle? Knock you out. That's what I thought. Yeah. Don't want to mess with me. Yeah. Get out of here. God. These people. You know? Jeez. Next car, please. Or a new note or something. We're doing a speed run. A speed run of a 10-minute game. Also, just in, you can't jump or crouch. God damn.
System failure.
Ugh. Okay. System failure. You guys want in? Here, you can get out for free. Yeah, fuck it. Go in. You want in? Yeah, sure. Go for it. Yeah, that's fine. Don't matter to me. The music's so creepy. Watch him drift around the corner. You ready? Yeah. What a life. So will somebody can like come back and like slaughter me or what? What's happening? Like, oh, we got a call. We got a call. Are we fired? Am I being let go? Oh. Hi, Allenzer. Thanks for the follow. Just static. New note? New note? No. Do I have to have a new... Not a new... Do I have to close the door for people to come? Oh. I put my arm up against the window like he does. Is his hand bigger than mine? If... Fuck it, go in. I don't care. This is last day. Last day on the job. Okay, we just missed that one earlier because that was before the other. This is help me. Yeah, okay. Then we open this bad boy. Wait, there we go. And we get another phone call.
Emergency.
Okay, we're all dying. We're crisis mode activated. Merry crisis. Merry crisis. Oh, oh. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. That is a different ending. Peace. It's my favorite song. Ending 2, we got it. Yeah, we just had to let the guy in. I bet that does that happen if we turn them away too? Like everybody? I guess the guy might come out at the end. All right. That was fun. Again, ending 2, I liked it. Overall, very good game. I found this on TikTok. Somebody was, I forget their name. Sorry. But somebody's playing a bunch of these games, and we will be playing a bunch of these smaller games throughout August and September, getting ready for Halloween, which is, as most of you know, in October. Okay. I gotta go check on something for Noah. But in the meantime, I will also... Well, no, I'll wait to start it just in case there's a cool little intro for it. But we'll be starting Before Your Eyes here in just a second. Hey. Be right back. All right. Well, let's get going with some Before Your Eyes. Let's see how this goes. I don't know if this camera right here is gonna pick it up enough because we use our eyes, actually. I'm gonna turn this down. Skybound Games. I also found this on TikTok. It looks like a very, very good game. But basically the premise is it's a story. I heard it's sad. And you're kind of going back through your life, and doing this, you use your eyes. So every time you blink, On-screen webcam. Ooh. I wonder, it shows my thing down there. Or I could do, yeah, we'll do this one. It'll catch me blink. Oh, it doesn't even show. Okay. Settings. Highest, yeah. Subtitles, absolutely. Yes, VSync correct. Use eye detection. Left mouse will simulate blinks. We'll try it with blinks. If it gets too much, we can always turn it off. Aw, man. Little agave? I think that's what that's called. They die whenever they do this, though. But no, this looks like such a cute little game. I'm going to turn that off. I just wanted to make sure it was on the right one. Yeah, if it can't see our eyes, we're going to have to do left click. This game looks so cute. I am looking forward to it quite a bit. Okay. Here we go. It's making me choose a video source. Maybe? Hello? Okay, with your camera enabled, it will track on your eye blinks to improve experience. Can we not do this one? No, it's not doing anything. I'm gonna move. Can I? Well, let me move this. So if I set that there and kind of tilt it down. Sorry, I'm moving my webcam. Interesting. It's not showing my stuff. And it crashed. Okay. Okay, real quick, let's do something. I'm gonna launch the Logitech capture thing for this webcam and see if this helps. Oh my god, it's taking forever. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. Oof. Just kidding, can't use that. All right, well, let's try to launch this again. I don't know. This might be a no camera situation. I can't use this one. Yeah, I can't. I'm like slouching so much right now. Okay. So let's, I guess, let's try again. And if it's given us trouble, then we'll just use without a camera, which I don't want to, but we might have to. Is it supposed to come up here? Is that it? Yeah, it is. Oh well. Yeah, it's supposed to come up here. Like what this is seeing is supposed to come up right there. Oh. That is unfortunate. Okay, well, I guess we'll do it without. Let me try one more thing just to see. It's really... Okay, we're gonna do it without. It's what we gotta do. This game is about blinking. Oh, we're like floating. Oh. Okay, I guess I'll try to do it to where every time I blink, I click. See? Every time you blink. Oh my god. If only. Blink. The game will notice. See how this works? I can't do it. Webcam. It showed up earlier. Right? Here, let me try something. Okay, never mind. It's okay. We're just gonna pretend. It's obviously not working. We just gotta accept it. Try blinking on the white symbol. This would be a cool VR game. If there was a way to do that. When you see the when you see a metronome and blink, you'll jump forward. Keep blinking. Oh, we're getting closer. What is that?
It's mine.
Well, hello there, stranger. Whew. You're a real bright and shiny one, aren't you?
Huh.
I asked you for your name, but sadly you got no mouth to speak with, or hands to shake with, or nose to look down with. So
What do I have?
to find another way. See, what you'll find is, even though you're no longer in your body's still inside of you, if that makes any sense. So, if you understand what I'm saying, blink over my hand here. You remember blinking, don't you?
Oh, no. Damn.
That thing you did 30,000 times a day?
I was trying to be smart and blink over here, but...
Ooh, well look at that. You're a blinking genius.
Got a little wind up on the boat. That's so cute.
You see all them poor souls down there, lost in the waves? I didn't choose any of them. I chose you. See, I just sometimes get a sort of a hunch, or what's a better word?
Is that a dictionary? A thesaurus?
Premonition. A premonition.
Ooh.
When a soul's worth pulling up.
Lots of fish,
See
too.
that tower out there? Big, scary one?
Yeah.
That's where I'm taking you to see the gatekeeper. To be judged.
Whoa.
I'm gonna present your case. Tell her the whole story of your entire life, from prow to stern.
Street lamp.
Now, if she's impressed, I get paid the Bitcoin, and you get yourself a spot in her magnificent city. If she ain't, well, I eat seagull for dinner again, and you, well, we don't have to worry about that, because I am the best orator you'll find on these sickly waters. Class A storyteller, believe you me. Oh, shut up, you trash birds. You had your chances.
Oh, I'm gonna pause real quick. I had to change the title. It's not a scary game. It's it's more of a story game that goes over
It wasn't my fault.
a story that goes over a person's life, and I've heard it's kind of a sad game actually.
You were no good. Layabouts. Unsatisfactory. Clock watchers.
Oh.
I got some words for you.
Wait, I thought this was a cat. Okay.
Sorry you had to hear that.
Okay.
So sure, maybe I'm not the most verbose storyteller out there, but I know how to spin a yarn if I'm given something to work with. And that's where you come in. Your life. You're gonna show it to me. I want to see exactly what made you so absolutely great. So just think back to the very beginning, the first thing that you can remember. I'm gonna send you there. But understand, no matter how much you like it, you're not gonna be able to stay, all right? Every time you blink, you're going to jump forward in time. Could be a second, could be 5 years. That's just how this thing works. Alrighty then.
I wish I could get my camera set up
Ready
for this.
Now, the next time that you blink, I'm gonna send you back. Now, don't be afraid, and don't try to fight it. The thing to remember about blinking is, well, it's only a matter of time. And just try to enjoy it this time.
Before your eyes. All right, everybody, you ready?
Look at that sun. We've got a long, beautiful day ahead of us. Why are you smiling like that?
Oh, there's more stuff appearing. Hello. I love the art style of it. So every time a metronome appears, we jump forward.
Let's go get you some seashells. What do you say?
Huh.
You see that big spiky plant over there? That's called an agave.
I was right.
11 years from now, that plant will die so it can give birth to this tall, amazing tree, covered in...
The day really slipped away, didn't it? Oh well, days have a tendency to do that, I guess. where's the first page of my piece? I can't find it anywhere. Did I put it in here? No.
Oh, okay. So we can unveil stuff with the eyeballs. So we got to look around whenever we're somewhere. Okay. Yeah, agave, like exactly.
Hey,
used for tequila and stuff.
Kid. Look at that. There's your little hand.
Her name's Benny.
We have to make him do this every birthday.
That's a great idea. That'll really be something.
1 year
See how
old.
it grows? Man, the zoom on this thing is fantastic.
Oh,
Oh, you want to play
Aw.
along with mommy, don't you?
that's cute. Little toy piano.
Give it time.
Aw.
I'm sure you'll be better than me soon enough. Now, where was
Trying to time it with my regular blinks. Just because we can't use our camera.
Sounds good, honey.
I'm sending it to my mentor next week. It has to be perfect.
Oh, oh, oh.
Well,
Oh,
sounds
bubbles.
pretty perfect to me.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
What do I like about it? I like the music.
That's very specific.
I also like the
So-
person playing it.
Blink a lot.
Look at his little face. What do you think he's thinking about?
So the mom plays music.
I don't know.
Move the boat.
Solving the problems of the universe.
So, do you think he's going to be smart?
I don't see why not. I mean,
No, it's not derivative. At least I didn't think it was. Do you think you could tell the other members of the selection committee what I just told you?
Aw.
Right.
We seem to like boats.
No, I'm sorry. I guess I just put a lot of expectation on this call.
We were close.
Okay.
It's kind of a boat. Yeah.
Thank you for considering my piece, John. It really means a lot.
So she writes music and she didn't. Aw. Didn't get a piece
Oh.
published.
That's sure a little mess of color.
Throw? No.
You
I don't
know,
wanna
if you
throw
keep
it.
working at it, one day you'll be able to paint exactly what's in your head. You'll be a real artist. Unlike your poor mom.
Aw. Yes, we are a baby right now. We're going through this person's life. Baby grand piano. This is our book. Beethoven, some Für Elise.
See? That used to be my piano.
Aw.
My dad gave it to me. He loved
Hi, Grayson.
music. Fled his home country just to have a chance to pursue it.
Oh, okay.
God, he made me practice so much. I hated it at first.
Hi, Courtney. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As well. Hi, Grayson again. I'm loving this game so far. It is so freaking cute.
I think he hoped to make it further than conducting the high school choir. Never said anything, though. He was what you might call the strong, silent type.
Aw.
Can you believe I grew up in the snow? And I came all the way out here to the beach. I don't even know how I got here. Your dad got his job and I just came with him.
Pause real quick. So tonight we're playing, just to reiterate, we're playing this tonight, and then after this we're gonna play some either Valorant or DBD. I haven't decided yet. Noah might be home by then. I have to see. But tomorrow night we're starting Death's Door, which is gonna be really fun. But yeah, Courtney, you're welcome to play if you'd like to play some Valorant. But yeah, we're just starting some new games, and then, you know, we're still going to be playing DVD and Valorant and all that kind of stuff. And Tuesday, I will know what days I work this week, since I've been working a lot lately. I have some interesting stories about work, but I'll have to wait till this game is over to kind of go through it. And I might be picking up Hollow Knight on sale as well to play a little bit later on. Yeah, I got some fun stuff. Also, we played Security Guard right before this. It's a small game on like off of, I believe it's called itch.io, itch.io. There's a bunch of games like that, kind of spooky, short. We're going to be playing those to start some of the streams in August and September, just to get ready for Halloween and stuff like that. Man, picked up Dicey Dungeons on sale. Ooh. Play as anthropomorphic dice. I've never heard of it before. Oh. Also, Noah and I are going to be playing Pico Park. So if anybody has Pico Park and wants to play along, it'd be something interesting to do. We're doing that. What else are we doing this month? The main thing's just like Death's Door and all that. And then, along with the schedule, I will let you guys know the next stream after Monday will be the community game night. I will put it out on Discord and all that kind of stuff to let you guys know. But I'll let you guys know Tuesday night, or depending on what time I get off, like Wednesday morning. So yeah. Well, anyways, I'm gonna get back to the game and
Like a human suitcase.
here we go. Again. Okay.
Okay, Benny. Are you ready to see something really special?
And we're named Benny, by the way.
I just don't want him to get attached.
Is it a pet?
Richard.
What?
That's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What happened
what's
with his
wrong
eye?
that?
We can't keep him. Can we?
Yeah, we
I
can.
mean, I'm pretty
Mhm.
much definitely allergic, so no, right?
No. We'll find someone to take.
No!
But while he's here, I say we call him Ernie.
I love it.
Little Ernie. Fits him, doesn't it?
Oh, he's
I know this game's already gonna make me tear up.
Sweet. I think someone likes his new cat.
We just started.
Richard,
What?
his cat.
What? Yeah, I just mean.
I'm trying to time it up with my blinkings. I might miss one or two, but
Now play the C major chord I taught you. Remember? There
that is
you
not
go.
even on C.
Doesn't that make you feel happy?
That's a
Like
D.
you just want to jump up and down? Now what about C minor? You remember how to play that one? Very good.
Also on D.
Just one note different. But that one sounds sad.
It's right
doesn't
there.
it? Amazing what a difference one little change can make on how a person feels.
So I'm. Oh no. She's gonna die.
And your little friend on your piano there.
Mom is gonna die. Nobody. Just like anime. Once you start getting.
She was in grad school studying composition.
On the wrong keys. Yeah, yeah.
Anyone like her? I just prayed to God I could somehow keep up.
Richard Bryan. Oh. Course one. What does that say? Oh, Richard Bryan, instructor.
I think she liked that I was
Oh.
a professor. Gave me a certain gravitas in her eyes, you know, which I very quickly lost.
I thought you meant about the mom dying as well, Courtney. Mm-hmm. All he knows. Egypt Airlines. Ooh. I've never been to Egypt.
God, she dragged me to so many places. It was wonderful. Where would you want to go? You can
Greece.
only go to one.
Ooh. Greece or Egypt? Oh, I would love to go to Greece.
Well, just remember to put on sunscreen. Man, I gave you some unfortunate genes, didn't I? Luckily, Mom gave you some good ones, so, yeah, what Let's hope they balance each other out.
Aw. All right. Is it going to be right this time? Yeah, sure. That was close. Where is she? She's not dead, is she? Already? We're older. Oh, shit. What is this? Oh, this is by the mom. It's not right.
Wait, that's my piece. How did you figure out how to play that? Richard, are you hearing this?
What?
He's playing my piece. He must have figured it out by ear. I mean, I was a gifted kid, but he's brilliant.
Oh my
We
god.
need to get him into serious piano
No,
lessons.
this is exactly how piano works.
Sure, but you know anyone who might be a good teacher for him?
What? I mean, in the city, sure. Not out here, I don't.
Why didn't the mom just teach him?
Someone who might be up to the task. She's very gifted.
Richard, no one in...
I didn't mean to do that. Grease is really good. Ooh. It's fun. Concert pianist. Exciting.
Oh, God, I have my interview in 5 minutes, and I completely forgot to feed him.
Oh.
Don't worry.
And we
I already
draw?
Oh, thank God.
Damn, we're talented.
For a moment, I forgot what a great father you are.
Looks like mom's
did. Focus on
looking
the
for
interview, honey.
work.
I got this.
Okay, here we go. Wow. All right.
Excuse me, of course, sir. It's all organized.
She's gonna
in little
die.
folders sitting ready on my kitchen table. They will literally be on your desk when you get in.
Our cat's
What
older.
could possibly happen to the files between now and tomorrow morning? We are fine.
So cute. Oh, and we're better at drawing too. Hello. Listen. Oh my god. Can we draw that on here too? The music's getting a little like
When's he coming?
I'm flying him out
Flustered.
in February, remember? You know, I think he was pretty surprised that I could actually afford to do that.
wake up, kitty.
Why not? You're a working woman now.
I guess that's true.
Aw,
Go to your head, but yeah.
the Vasa.
Please let the cat know.
Wait, why isn't mom showing
It's
up?
time to use the litter box, though.
Baby steps. He's got one eye.
This cat is adorable. Oh no, it's got like a little. Ooh, an actual
This
metronome.
is called a metronome. We use it to measure time so we don't get lost in the music. I want you to start using it before Grandpa comes to visit.
My teachers still try to get me to use this regularly. I'm so bad about using a metronome sometimes. I want one of these metronomes too, Grayson.
You know, my father once
It's got a little
told me
face.
when I was about your age.
Welcome home, Dad.
Only way to fight against time
Welcome
is to
home.
create a work of genius, which might live on after you're gone.
Metronomes are very cool.
So I asked him, what about your children? Thinking, I might be a work of genius just as I was. He said,
Oh,
yes, I suppose. If you made a work of genius, I could live on through that as well. No such luck for me,
aw.
but I do wonder what he'll think about you. I haven't seen him in over 10 years. Can you believe
Go
that?
work metronome.
I wonder if he'll even recognize me.
I hadn't thought about that, Courtney. It's supposed to be 100 BPM, right? Okay. Oh, it's late. What are we doing? Um. Hundred and 120. Ah. Gotcha.
You really need to stay in time with the metronome, okay?
I feel like it's been January for... Oh, wait. No, we're jumping in time. That's why. Piano pieces for children. Oh.
Subdivide the time. 1E and a 2E
Is the
and
music
a 3E
at least right?
and a 4E
Yeah.
and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. You're off. You're off, Ben. You can't hear that?
Oof. Tough teacher. We're messing up. Can I just... I can break out the piano and play it right now.
There you go, buddy. Okay, now keep a firm grip on it, just like that.
Oh, it's a camera.
Oh my. Well, don't think you like that, pal. Sorry, buddy.
So adorable.
Turn around, Elle, so we can photograph you.
I'm just really behind right now. Why don't you take photos in the backyard? It may not be interesting at first, but if you keep going back out there every day, you'll be surprised by how much it changes.
I mean, she got a point. Oof. I didn't know lucid dreaming was like something that they use metronome for. Oh. Where'd he go? I thought it was one of those little cars. No! Our cat! You're... I swear to God. The mom and the cat?
Ernie,
Ernie.
buddy,
Ernie!
Ernie.
Ernie, we need you!
And...
Oh, my God, Elle, what if you got eaten by a coyote?
My sinuses would be eternally indebted.
He's been
What?
lost for a while.
Did you just say?
No, I said I'm really worried. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
God, honey, I'm worried too.
I know, sweetie. So you're saying it's a coincidence that it disappears for weeks and then comes back with a huge belly?
We're gonna have kitty cats!
Ernie's a boy.
And you're sure about that?
I don't think so.
Thought I
It's
was.
Ernette.
Uh-huh. And that was based on...
The old distance.
Oh.
Say
Hey.
that one more time, sweetie.
I don't know about that,
The old
Ollie.
distance from the butt. If it's further away or something, then it's one or the other.
And what was Ernie's?
I'm still not understanding how you let this happen.
I don't know.
No slut shaming here,
Think
mister.
about it. It just happened.
You just happened to find a stray cat in the alley. We keep it even though I hate cats. And now it just happens to pop out 5 more?
Sorry, I didn't realize you hated cats.
For a professor of signs and symbols, you're really bad at reading them.
Okay, that's funny.
Oof.
That's really.
Okay, we're gonna go away from that
He
argument.
keeps coloring the grass blue, the ocean green, and then the sky red.
And what's wrong with that?
Are we colorblind?
No, are you kidding? I love it.
Visit Australia. Oh wait, no, we're like, every time we take a picture, does it change?
Were you able to pick up the new book?
Yes.
Oh fuck, that's a sick ass racetrack we got.
I meant Benny.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Got this too.
Oh, we moved.
No.
Didn't we? No, maybe we didn't.
Professional learning.
I mean, they did. And it's stupidly big.
Is that a cat? What? Oh no. No. No.
I know, it seems impossible that you could ever play something so complex.
No.
But
I
just
swear to
take
God.
it one day at a time. Trust me.
I don't know what happened. I feel like the cat might not be around anymore. I don't know. I'm just assuming the worst. It's Halloween.
You're really getting there, honey. Next week we'll start working on your other hand.
Look at us go. Oh, and it's Christmas now. Holy fuck. Okay.
Listen to him, Richard. I'm enlisting him in that competition.
I thought you said competitions took the joy out of playing music.
Not if you win.
Man, competitions are rough. Okay.
Okay.
Where's the cat?
2 brackets.
Where is
on
the
each
cat?
Side. 2 screws on each bracket.
The quiz said find the 0, and
Oh.
he just drew an arrow pointing to it.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I mean,
a
everything
mood.
is wrong with that.
Ooh. Okay. We still got this sick ass racetrack though.
Congratulations, B.
Oh, we have.
Penny, I'd assume.
Ooh. We got piano awards. We got an Apple I computer. I think that's what it's called.
Full by the time I come in there.
And we're getting a. Oh, there's that boat.
Anymore. We're getting rid of it.
Is that cat at the end supposed to like represent Ernie? Oh, we're getting older. We got a surfboard and a backpack. Fuck, we got a lava lamp, guys. Glitching out a little bit though. Oh, and a bonsai tree.
This isn't my house. It's not my house.
Right. It's my house. You have 5 minutes to get down or I'll drive it back with you.
Oh.
Not my house. Not.
Aw. They're building a lot of stuff though. Wherever we are. Somewhere by the beach, I assume.
Fall back, you fool. I'll have your
Are we gonna fall in love with this person?
Then to the cat.
Is that what's gonna happen?
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Come over here.
Not me.
Yes, Mr. Camera Boy. I'm talking to you.
Who you calling camera boy, punk? We're getting to see more of the background though. Like each time we come out
Why
here.
are you always out here taking photos? You know, if you really want to take a photo of something cool, you should take a photo of this.
Chloe!
Oh shoot.
All right.
I think I gotta go. But try to take a photo of me running into my house. I'm pretty fast, so I don't
She was
think you'll
gonna-
be able to. But you can try. What the
Okay,
hell?
Grayson.
How did he do that?
Grayson, you realize these are like kids.
Quiet, everyone. Betty's
Oh
about to
shit.
play for us.
Oh, I think at a family gathering. Oh no. We're going fast.
Wow,
This is
Elle,
hard.
He's unbelievable. My God, I didn't realize our head of accounting.
How
was
old are we?
Musical.
So we've been playing the same song for like 6 years now or whatever.
No, I don't know if I'd say that.
But you used to write your own music, right?
Yeah, but I haven't done that in years.
I feel like you'd
Not
move
since I was
on
4 or 5
to a
years
different
old.
song by now.
And what do you do, Richard?
He's a professor.
Of what?
Well, no one really knows.
No, I mean, what's his field?
It's maritime archaeology.
Very cool.
We're learning more about Dad.
But no one really knows what it means.
Unknown legend.
It's kind of one of those professions that stops a dinner party short.
Okay, more wine?
I'll have a little more wine, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Some rough time with the parents, I see. We might... Oh, gosh. Okay.
The class is world history. My name is Mr. Isaac.
Mr.
The
Isaac.
class will be broken up into
Hey, you.
units.
Just like her parents.
Each unit we will study.
Broken up into 2 units.
Look on your
Hiya.
desk. I wrote you something.
Okay, Ollie.
Know about the civilization. Well, it depends.
Oh, a note. Dear neighbor kid, we're in the same class. What a coincidence. Please keep in mind that while we're at school, we don't know each other. Do not talk to me
This is
ever.
quote.
Love,
I
Chloe.
want each of you to write it down. Not doodle on the sidelines, not stare off into space.
Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to
Okay.
repeat it.
Now I will go on to the next slide. Chloe, tell me, what did the quote say?
Right, I definitely know this.
Definitely.
You were taking notes, weren't you, Chloe?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, those who do not remember the past
Would be nice.
repeat the past. That's right, right?
Indeed it is. Though I'd prefer you to answer without the help of your boyfriend next time.
Oh.
If we do
You
not
broke my no
keep an
talking
accurate
rule,
account of the
but
past,
I asked you
we are
to,
destined
so
to
I
embarrass
guess I'll have
ourselves
to
in
let
all
you
sorts
live.
of ways.
Hi, Cuddles.
I tried to convince your father not to buy you that thing, but he insisted.
What is
I
it?
suspect he bought it for himself.
Consters. E for everybody.
Those guys are
Oh!
pretty cute, though.
Okay.
What is
I see. It's a video
that? Oh,
game.
The job of whoever gets paid to think of that.
It's like
crap.
Pokemon. A new conch test in it. Oh my god. Your favorite conchers are ready for a battle for the playscape. Join Macy and your four sad brothers as they search for their lost mother, the legendary Queen Conch. Queen Conch. Entrap gooey monsters with Doctors Ebb's patented seashells with a C. Okay. We're 11 as well. Okay, we're not that old. We're still young. Young.
I've definitely seen you next door, but I didn't realize you guys had become friends.
Oh, sure. We sit together in history class. I don't know what I'd do without old Benny.
Old
Very
Benny?
sweet. Thank you for playing this game with him.
Your dad just thanked me for hanging out with you? That's a very interesting detail. Okay, shut up.
Oh, we got a kitty eraser.
really want this one.
I love it.
Maybe I'll use...
Little pizza bagels.
Tickle stick.
Ooh, we're getting pretty good at this drawing thing.
Whoa!
I wish I could do
That's
this
a
in
pretty
real
good
life.
drawing. You should draw pictures of more different stuff.
Yeah.
Not me, though.
Draw a picture of her.
I'll actually kill you if you try to draw me, and you saw what I'm capable of in your
Draw anyway.
backyard.
Absolutely draw anyway.
Benny, why did you draw me? You're not good enough.
It really is some drawing
I
talent.
look so ugly. Ugh.
That's me every time I look in a mirror. All right.
It's called a magnet school.
Burton.
It's about an hour
Conservatory of
away in a
Music.
town called Burton. I know the change can be scary, but I just want you to go in
Huh.
and meet the dean I spoke with. You know, life can take you to some incredible places if you're really, really good at something. It's just, you've had so much trouble
Yeah.
making friends at Playco. I want you at a
Really?
place where people
That's me.
really get you.
I play the saxophone. Nice.
So what do you think, Benjamin? You think you could excel in that sort of an environment?
Sorry, he gets very shy.
Oh.
I know, right?
Not to worry. If he's as gifted as you say he is, shyness is no problem. Why don't you two come back closer to the end of the year for an audition? We'll get a few pieces that you can have him start learning. I'm eager to hear what your son is capable of. So, I understand you were a musician yourself.
Here we go. Here we go.
Where did you study?
Oh, Berkeley. But I was in the composition department.
Ooh, Berkeley.
Ah, and who did you study under?
John MacDonald?
I understand he's very difficult.
Yes. Taciturn is the word I use.
Taciturn.
Interesting.
Yeah. People have described me that way, if you can believe it.
Oh, I would never say that about you.
Thank you.
Grayson.
I wouldn't either.
Ooh, Bach. My music theory professor loves Bach. Well-tempered clavier. Preludes and fugues. Oh, windmill! Noah loves windmills.
As you can see, there are some very fast runs in there, and a lot of stuff I've not taught you properly yet. So no pressure. I just want you to try, and we can see if you start enjoying it.
But it's okay.
Just like to see you really rise to the occasion, just this once. I
need
wish
to
I
start
had
learning
the
Bach
option of going to a
stuff.
school like that when I was your age. I wouldn't be working this boring job or living in this boring town, I'll tell you that.
No, we're not gonna crumple it. We're gonna learn the music. We're gonna learn it. Days until audition. 30. Remember, today's the first day of the rest of your life. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, we have a cell phone now? Look at us. Where's our cat? Did our cat get eaten? I'm pretty sure the cat's dead. You can't play it slow. You can't play it fast.
Don't answer that, Ben. You can talk to your friend after you practice.
Oh, I don't know what to do here. Well, now I'm nervous. Oh, God. Practicing is important. Oh, I feel like this is not going to be good if we don't answer that. Oh.
Oh my god.
She's calling again.
Is she really calling you again?
Oh,
Is she
geez,
obsessed
Mom
with
is
you?
mad. I
Keep
feel like
that
this is a
up.
bad
You're
idea.
sounding really good.
Anubis, in the presence of
Me too,
Ma'at,
Courtney. I turned mine on
who
silent.
you remember is the goddess of truth and justice, would weigh the deceased soul against a feather, determining whether it was worthy of entering into her land of the dead. And what if they are deemed unworthy?
Sorry, Ollie, I
Well,
had to.
You can see that ugly fur ball under the scale?
She's gonna be very mad.
Is Amamet, and she's got, and yes, that's a she,
Mr.
the
Kid.
head of a crocodile,
Look at
fur of a lion. See,
You're a
and the
weird
body of
neighbor
a
kid.
hippopotamus.
Tonight after my dad goes out,
I would not say that
goes
to
to
her
sleep, I'm
face.
going to sneak out of my house and go to
Now,
sleep on the beach. Aw.
As you can see,
You want to
she
get
is ready to
invited?
devour
Draw me a picture of Mr.
any
Isaac.
of the
Feeling
deceased who do not
constipated?
pass judgment.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Sort of like me. With
Oh no, we're gonna get caught.
Why is he so scared looking?
So I am
Okay.
I'm moving on before we get caught.
Slightly worried about having him change schools just as he's starting to make friends.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only reason she keeps coming here is to play that game you bought for him.
Oh no.
Okay, listen, I don't claim to understand the motives of children. but
One day.
Benny has a chance here. A real chance to be really good at something. I mean this is no offense at all. But I don't think you actually really understand what that is.
Wow. Mom's going fucking hard. Damn. Chill. We're going out with the girl.
Lights out. You need to be rested for tomorrow. Memory consolidates when you're asleep. So if you go to sleep now, you will awaken a master. Trust me.
I have never gotten good sleep before an audition, and I've done fine.
Richard, tell your son to turn the lights off.
Benny, Mom says turn the lights off.
Ollie, chill. God.
Benny.
No, Mom's absolutely trying to live
Turn the
through
lights
this
off.
child.
Not just Mom.
She is absolutely trying to live through this child. We're sneaking out.
Wow, didn't think you'd actually pick up. I mistook you for a baby. I apologize.
Hmm?
Okay, so meet me
Vicariously.
out in the alley in T-minus now, okay? Chloe, out.
Whoa, yo. Fuck it. Sneak out.
You
Do it while
know,
you can.
I'm really glad you're here.
Because when you're
There's
older,
something
you
I've
just
been
go
meaning
out.
to talk to you about,
It's boring.
or to get off my chest.
Bryson, chill.
Okay.
These are children.
I don't think Kongsters is actually a really good game. My cousin Yoon, he was in town this weekend, and he was explaining how it's actually a ripoff of a really good Japanese game. He calls it a cash grab. So I'm sorry that I made you like it because it's actually a terrible game.
Oh.
But I also think that if it was a really good game, maybe we wouldn't have enjoyed playing it as much. We would have been so focused on how good it was and not the feelings we had while we were playing it.
Aw.
Like, my favorite vegetable is the tomato, but Yoon thinks that they're the grossest ever. And you're probably the least popular boy in the school, but I also like hanging out with you the most.
Jeez, everybody's going
was
so hard.
Also something I wanted to talk to you about. I like hanging out with you a lot, which is weird because after what happened with my mom, I never like hanging out with anyone.
Oh no.
So this has been a big surprise for me this year.
Oh
in a lot
no.
of ways. I think I like that you let me talk. My cousin never lets me talk. My dad does, but I can tell he's not really listening.
Oh man.
Probably didn't sleep at all. Out in the cold all night.
He's mad
You're
at
already
us.
feeling sick, aren't you? It's okay. You still got this.
Oh, we got the
You know,
nice sheet
practice had to
music.
count for something. Maybe just try and
Oh
close
no,
your eyes
we're
now
like,
and get a little sleep
we're
on
so
the way
fucking
over.
tired right now.
I'm going to play the recording so the sound of mastery can seep into your subconscious a little,
doesn't
okay?
happen.
Close your eyes, Ben. I'm going to be there soon.
God damn, she's mean. Jeez.
In your own time, Benjamin, we are very excited to
This
hear.
is gonna be oh so rough. Oh, this is a mess. Oh no, we're gonna pass out.
Oh, okay. I think that's enough. So, Benjamin, why don't we plan on having you come back next year again, once you've had a bit more time to practice? Yes? As you know, Burton isn't the right fit for every student, and I wish you the best of luck on your path, wherever it may take you, okay? All right. I really want to thank you and your mother for coming all the way out here. I
This
know
is
it
not
was
good.
quite the drive.
No.
Maybe I pushed you too hard. Maybe I turned into my own father.
Oh, wait.
I don't know. You have to find something to focus on. The world
not
isn't very
mad.
kind to people who aren't really good at something.
I mean, I do feel bad for the mom. Are we gonna professional video game player? That's what he's gonna be.
From school for a while, just until this nasty thing clears.
Oh God! Oh
hey,
no!
Elle, would you mind taking a quick walk with me down to my office?
Oh
There's a
no!
Small clerical thing I need you to look at before I can let you two go.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll be right back, Benny, okay?
Just maybe 5 minutes, kiddo. Okay?
He's gonna come back and say like you have cancer or something. Oh no.
It's such a crucial time in his development. He shouldn't be confined to his room.
Yeah, look, having him home for a little means I can spend more time with him. You know? We can focus him, make sure he's staying engaged.
Can we please try to speak a little softer?
Yeah, that's not good. That actually. Oh my gosh. Oh, this looks familiar. So much trash. Oh, this is the beach where his mom and him would go. Lungs and heart. Ah, yeah. Grayson. God damn. Yeah, the Bach did it.
This isn't video game time. I want you to figure out something actually productive to do while you're home from school.
All those music awards. How old are we by now? Are we still like early teens? Oh. Ooh. I know the boat does seem like the opening one because it's got the little wind up thing on there and that makes me worried. I guess we're gonna get better at drawing. Become an artist.
Hey, B! Dinner's ready.
Oh, look at us. We're going to watercolor now.
You hear me?
What's he doing?
He's drawing. He's becoming completely excited.
Here we go.
No.
We're not eating.
Well, ever since he got sick, all he does is his art.
We're getting really good at art here. Ooh.
Well, he doesn't play much anymore. I have to see how good he's got at drawing.
The time skip June to October. Yeah. It's now we're back to January. Oh man. We got a prize.
Mr. Benjamin Bryn has been awarded first place.
Hell yeah.
I really gotta thank you for this, Benny. Emma Bills is so pissed that weird camera kid won over her multiple horse portrait that she literally just left with her dad in tears.
Ha. Ours is way better. Fuck yeah. Art school application. Ooh. Oh my God. Look at us go. In 2 short paragraphs, describe what makes you want to pursue a career in the arts. I don't know if that's gonna... Okay. Ooh.
You are not here to learn to be
Oh, it did.
painters.
Now you can learn to draw
You
her.
are here to learn to be artists. And
People
although
actually
I was
talk
hired
like
to
that?
teach you, it is a sham. There is no teaching art.
There we go.
So don't just sit there slack-jawed. Make art, you ponies. Oh.
Okay. I've never been called a pony before. Oh, hello. Yeah, Yeah, sure, why not? You seem to be missing something. Oh, what style do we want to do?
Oh, how very wacky and fun these are.
Let's mix it up. Oh.
It's very zany. Very kitsch.
Hey, you watch it, sir. Gotta cover his junk up.
Lucky for you, the world is always in need of more greeting card artists.
Okay, chill. Next time we'll do it well. Oh shit, are we gonna mess our stuff up? Oh no, is he gonna be like expelled from school? Okay, let's... Oh, we're going with the abstract.
There you go, Mr. Bryn.
Oh.
Feel each shape.
Apparently he really is into this. Oh, I do like that skull. Yeah.
Oh, you fiend.
Ooh, look at us go. Abstract. Also,
I want you all to take a long look at what Mr. Bryn has done.
Oh shit. What have we done?
You see, he has reached down deep within himself
what we
and
just did.
created a masterpiece.
Fuck yeah. It is Benny, yeah.
I pray you have a strong hold on yourself, Mr. Bryn. For I fear, with talent like these, you may soon be swept away by a whirlwind.
Huh.
I'm stunned. The ironic sincerity of this
Benjamin
piece is so
Bren.
sincerely ironic.
He's flipped the discourse so thoroughly, I'm actually dizzy.
Don't spoil anything. Don't spoil anything. Oh, I didn't look around enough.
I know that lots of agents gave you lots of cards, and it all probably feels weird and alienating and
I like
the opposite
this one.
of what being a starving artist is supposed to feel like. But if I can teach you one thing, it's that if opportunity knocks, you open the door. Making a living
Let's
isn't
do
selling out. I wish I had thought of it that way.
this one.
Benjamin, marvelous show last week.
Let's... I don't know.
Stunning. I've never been
This one.
prouder. One little thing. A birdie told me that Elba Pressenhuber gave you her card. Now, I want you to cut that card into
Oh,
little
no.
pieces and feed it to an alley cat. Elba Pressenhuber is not in the business of the arts. Elba Pressenhuber
Well,
is in
yeah,
the
I knew we were gonna die.
business. And you, child, you are no businessman. You are an artist. Live like one.
I feel like this teacher doesn't have the best in mind.
You're not selling your soul.
Ah! Crumple.
Well, look at that. You've crumpled my contract.
Let me throw it at her. Oh shit, I didn't mean to.
To being a difficult artist, the best of us
I feel like that's a bad idea, but eh. No, he's quite a bit older now. Artistic and commercial success.
So,
Well,
now that you've grown your wings,
kind of looks like where I work.
Master, where will you fly?
Where will we
May I
fly?
suggest somewhere abroad? This American air.
Yeah,
can be
let's move. Wait. That meal looks a little nicer than ramen. We're in Greece. Oh shit.
Honey, stop. Is that Benjamin Brin? Oh my god.
We're-
I think it is.
People know us. Ooh. Okay, okay, what do we got? Anything else we can draw? I know, right? I don't think the guy gave us bad advice. People know us in Greece.
I bet you're happy you threw that contract in her face now. You didn't sell out, and you still got rich. Oh, but listen to me, Benjamin. Now
See?
is the single most important moment in your
Wow.
entire career. Collectors, curators, how we all love a rising star, and how bored we
Gotta snap, because that's the artsy thing to do.
keep rising, Benjamin.
I feel like that was a better thing to do.
Hey,
So.
Ben. Don't even pick up this call, okay? I mean it.
This one.
Calling to inform you that I went to the doctor today.
Oh no.
Well, I'm gonna be a little sick for a while, but really, I don't want you worrying about it at all. You're at such an important moment in your career, and
No! I was gonna answer it!
I'm proud of you. This is nothing but a little bump in the road for me.
Oh no.
Okay?
You're not gonna be fine.
Don't even worry about calling me back.
No, call back.
Okay, Benny. I love you.
Ugh.
But
Just punched myself
that's
by
enough
accident.
for me. Now you'll hear from the person who
Oh, no.
I believe is the single thing in the world my wife is most proud of.
Fuck!
Her
She's dead!
magnum opus, so to speak. I think you
I
all
wanted
know who
to
I'm
pick the
talking.
call up.
Benny,
Oh.
ready to come up here?
No.
B, say something.
Oh no.
What's wrong? Why aren't you talking?
Hey, you. As you know, I talk to big, very important people every day. And there's one thing that everybody is asking me. What's going on with Benjamin Bryn? And what am I supposed to say? That I haven't heard from my star pupil in 6 months? This is getting
Jeez, mom gets mad at us. Now he gets mad at us. What the hell?
You are a snake.
Oh
You're a
shit.
fraud. But worst of all, Benjamin, you're a little tease. I have told the world that Benjamin Bryn is a genius. I have told the world that Benjamin Bryn is silent because Benjamin Bryn is hard at work creating his greatest work yet. But you are doing nothing! The world has forgotten you, Benjamin! They have moved on! And I have moved on too.
It doesn't sound like it. But I'm with you on that one, Ollie.
Hey, B. Just calling to tell you,
Oh, things are getting run down. He was selling stuff in the last one, looks like.
I think I'm selling the house.
Oh no.
She's everywhere here, son. I can't move without bumping into her. And then I just find myself breaking down again. I hope you understand.
Take whatever you want. With your mother gone, I'm hoping to finally live without all the clutter. Yeah, I think you did the right thing.
Keep it.
By the way, she didn't want you to see her like that. She just wanted you to focus on your work.
I swear to God, if you
That
do not
is the
keep
only thing
a
that matters.
manuscript paper,
What's
I'll be
that?
livid.
What's so fascinating, son?
Is he gonna go back into music? Ooh. Okay. Oh. Oh no. I know, right? We haven't talked to the one girl in months. Not months, years.
Look. It's unbelievable, Benny. It's like she's standing in the room with us. Like I can see her in the paint. I can feel her.
Oh no. Is this all the paintings of his mom? Oh no.
Is that really you? It's Chloe, your neighbor.
No.
My God, I can't believe this. It's been years. I just walked through the entire show. It's unbelievable. I'd love to walk through it again with you. I mean, if you were down for that. I just can't believe that my entire childhood, I was living next to a bona fide genius. I should have guessed it. I mean, with all those little drawings you did. Remember when you still drew my portrait even when I begged you not to?
Aww.
God, you were such a little jerk back then.
Oh,
and
shoot.
your mom. I always heard her playing piano from next door, but I didn't know she wrote the actual music. She was a genius. Like mother, like son, I guess. Hey, so, not to be forward, but what are you doing after this? Maybe we could get a drink or something? I'd really love to catch up. I can't believe everything that's happened to you. I want to hear all about it.
Oh wait, we're back. No.
Now would you look at
Did we just fucking die?
I cannot.
You want to get a drink?
My luck.
It's dancing.
You finally hit the jackpot.
I feel like this guy's a little selfish.
Nobody, nothing's dying every day. You finally sink your hook into a... Whoa! Well, there you are. Well, hello.
Man.
If I had realized, I would have cleaned up. I'm just used to fishing up a different class of soul. I mean, sure, I've had scientists, a couple college athletes here or there, but whew, an internationally renowned painter? The gatekeeper's gonna eat you up. Hey, speaking of that, why don't we give your story a test run? Maybe you help me out with the word choice, since, you know, I'm still working on that. See if I'm getting all the strokes right, the proper composition, if you catch my drift. Forget about it. All right, here we go. Gatekeeper! Before you stands the soul of a great man. Now, would you describe yourself as a happy kid or a lonely one?
I don't know. Were we happy or lonely? I feel like we were kind of a little lonely.
A jovial child or a solitary one?
I'd say lonely.
His childhood was a lonely one. Growing up as a strange, quiet child in an isolated
I hope we get to see more
town.
of his life.
And, what'd you say your mom was? A composer or an
composer?
Accountant? His mother was a composer who, with the need to support her family, took a job as an accountant.
An accountant.
How would you describe her as a teacher? More encouraging or demanding? Kind of like your champion or more like a taskmaster?
No, I would say
Therefore, as
She
his
could
piano
be demanding,
teacher,
but I
she
feel like it was
ever
in-
encouraging, teaching him to
Overall,
recognize
she was-
the greatness within.
You know,
How about that neighbor girl?
I feel like he thought very fondly of her.
What was she to you? Was she your best friend or first love?
First love. 100%.
But on the eve of his big audition, he completely dropped the ball, staying up all night with his first love and blowing it the next day.
The first love? Or the audition? No, I'm kidding.
Now, from
My
that
bad.
moment forward, his mother gave up on him.
Oh.
She knew he didn't have what it took to be a truly great musician. But little did she know, she just picked the wrong medium, right? See, when he was 12 years old, he got sick. And he had to stay inside for an entire year.
Damn.
And in that year, he rediscovered a talent he'd forgotten. Painting. Sure, he loved finger painting as a child. Color and shape were the first languages he learned to speak. But for the first time, he saw it in a more serious light. He was accepted into an exclusive art school where he caught the eye of an esteemed professor who launched his work into the national spotlight.
What if the gatekeeper looks like
With
his mom?
expectations on his career mounting, he stalled himself into bankruptcy, which turned out to be a blessing, for it wasn't until he returned home to the house he grew up in that he began work on what would ultimately be considered his masterpiece. I said shut up, you
I don't think we're lying.
dumb dolls! You lucky fowls!
Oh, they do say lie.
I get it! I hear what you're saying. I hear what
I
you're
guess.
saying.
He did say that.
I had assumed as much anyway. I should probably tell you, those things, they're not regular gulls. They're liar birds.
I guess.
They're
Wow.
what becomes of souls who tried to lie to the gatekeeper. And once they try that,
Is he the gatekeeper?
they're never allowed near her city again. I get to feeling bad for not defending them right, so they just stay on with me.
Oh, shit.
Living reminders of my oratory shortcomings.
That's why he has the thesaurus.
Yeah, good thinking. I'll be back to get you once I'm done with this one. Hopefully you won't be seeing him again.
So not first love. I think that's the one.
You're a flea-bitten sap. You know that?
Maybe it was the mom that was demanding.
Poor fool doesn't know what he's in for.
Oh no. Man.
Now don't think that I haven't dealt with people like you. You're ashamed of something. Something so terrible, you're trying to blink right past it.
I want to see more of his life.
Because if the gatekeeper knew, she'd have to dream up fresh new hells to punish someone as worthless as you. And I'm
Don't
sure
spoil
you're right.
anything if
I'm
so.
sure you're the rottenest soul that I ever fished out of that black muck. And I should have thrown you back.
Oh, God.
Sanitized my paw as soon as I laid eyes on
Do
you.
you have a hand sanitizer down here?
But it's too late for that. We're in this together. And the gatekeeper,
I feel like he is
she'll
the
see
gatekeeper.
right through your fake lies as if they were glass. So I'm gonna ask you again to start from the very beginning. And this time, I want the truth.
I'm worried. I felt like it was a little too good to become true.
Now play the C major chord I taught you. Remember?
Let me guess, it's not a...
Come on,
that's
keep
C.
blinking. I haven't found it
They
yet.
got it right.
Doesn't that make you feel happy? You know, my father once told me.
Wheels didn't start
when I was
squawking.
about
Yeah, that's
your
what I
age.
thought.
This. Stay here.
It's this and then the cat one. Oh no, we're running out of time. What did she hear?
I'm getting it.
Oh no.
Hello? Yes, of course. This is Elle, his daughter.
I see. She knew she hadn't yet lived up to her father's expectations. And now, she never could. Let's keep going.
You really need to stay in time with the metronome, okay?
You were a prodigal talent. I get it. Let's move.
Okay.
Eternally indebted.
What did you just say?
This isn't a trip down memory lane. I need...
Hey.
Yes, I understand about the cat. Let's keep...
Hey. Right here. It's the cat. The cat was eaten, right? Did we not do anything to save the cat? Because if so, yeah, get rid of him. Get rid of this guy. It sounds like a dog or a coyote's eating the cat. It's blood. Oh.
The death of those cats must have taught you a terrifying lesson.
Oh.
That simply being alive wasn't enough. So then you went to work to make yourself sensational.
Listen to him, Richard. I'm enlisting him in that competition.
I thought you said competitions took the joy out of playing music.
Not if you win.
What's down there?
I like hanging out with you a lot.
Why is the why not there?
Weird because
Stop
after
here.
what happened with my mom, I never liked
Yeah, no, this... I have a feeling it's going to get pretty dark.
I'm not worried about who you are, Benny. I'm worried about who you're going to become.
I get all this. We need to move.
Hey, Elle, would you mind taking a quick walk with me down to my office?
Come on, keep blinking. I haven't found it yet.
This is it.
We can focus and make sure he's staying engaged.
Can you please try to speak a little softer? I really don't want him to hear us talking about this.
Oh. No, speak more. Louder. So we can hear.
What's the point?
Oh.
What do you mean? What's the point?
We're blinking so fast.
What does that mean?
Oh my god.
What's the point of any of it?
Okay. This is taking a lot of my finger power.
Never gonna get any better.
Wait, what?
Okay. Let's not say that. Okay?
I have to click a lot for this.
We know we don't mean it.
Like otherwise.
I know I don't.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, what if he heard one of us saying something like that?
I'd never forgive myself.
It's okay. He's asleep.
We are! I'm just dumb.
It's okay.
Fuck. I didn't know we could hold it down. There you are. I'm doing it the hard way. Oh my god.
I see. You got sick.
It never got
You
better.
howled at the moon, at the top of your lungs.
My god. I can't believe I did that. Actually, I can't believe I did that. Howling at the agave. You're literally a cat.
You were sick for a long time, weren't you? Sicker than healthy kids are supposed to get? Well, no matter how painful it gets, I need you to remember. We're all...
This isn't video game time. I want you to
worried.
figure out something actually productive to do while you're home from school.
I hear an ice cream truck.
Try writing with it.
Did we become a writer?
Well, hello, Benny.
Wait, can we
It
not
was your
talk?
grandfather's, but I used it in college to write lyrics. Exactly. It was very artsy. Actually, I was just good at fooling your dad. Made him think I was some kind of genius. Why don't you write the story of your life so far? And then what you're going to do once you get better.
Oh no.
That's the story I want to hear.
I was worried about this.
Story of who you're going to become, okay?
Oh no. Oh man. Okay, Ollie. Strange and quiet, child in a lonely, isolated seaside town. I don't think the fingers are supposed to bend that way on the thing. Oh wait, this is what he was saying earlier.
Man, this is wild. You really got into this, didn't you? Oh, here I am. But on the eve of his big audition, he completely dropped the ball, staying up all night with his first love and blowing it the next day.
Oh no. Is she gonna know?
First love? Okay, Benny. And you know, we really could have just slept on the beach another night. But I'm also glad we didn't because, well, another night wouldn't be the same night, if that makes sense. Okay, back to the story. He'd loved finger painting as a child. Color and shape were the first languages he learned to speak. Man, you take your doodle seriously. I did not realize, but I respect it. I respect it.
Aww.
You are going to be in there for about 30 minutes, so try to get comfortable.
Was this MRI? I don't really know the machines.
You're doing great, buddy. Just a little longer, okay?
MRI. I don't think I've ever been in one of those. I know they spin super fast. I've only had like an X-ray done. That's about it. Oh gosh.
Knock knock. You're gonna
Me
be so
too.
annoyed with me,
Oh.
but I couldn't help but overhear Chloe reading loud from what I think was your story the other night. I know. I promised myself I wouldn't eavesdrop, but I would really love to read it if you'd let me. What do you say? You know I'm such a big fan of anything you do.
Yeah. Can we let her read it? I'm glad we put her as encouraging, because if we put demanding, that might be bad. PT machines. Ah, I see. They're just like the thinner ones.
Not right now.
Okay, don't worry. Just go to bed.
It's an alligator.
I'll talk to you.
Is it Loki?
Hey, B. Just want you to know that Mom loved your story. She's just, you know, I think it was just very emotional for her to read. But I thought it was great. I mean, look at this. His childhood was a lonely one, growing up a strange and quiet child in an isolated seaside town. I mean, I'm certainly bummed you feel that way. But what I want to know is, where'd you learn to write so well? All those cool words.
Exactly, Koodles.
Really just very cool stuff, kiddo. You should be very proud, okay? Okay. Love you, buddy.
Aw. Oh, January. Is that why that date keeps coming up so much? Is this like the last day that he was alive? Benjamin Bryn. Oh wow, we're really going hard on ourselves. Oh no. Don't do it. I have a really bad feeling with this writing here about what's gonna happen. Oh no. We're dying right now. Oh, we're back.
So if he's ever in pain, all he needs to do is press that red button and the drug will administer itself.
Thank you so much. You know, I know my wife would normally want to thank you herself.
No, I understand. It hits mothers the hardest, this sort of thing.
Thank you for understanding. It's been a rough one.
Huh. Well, it's getting a little worse there.
Hey, Eddie. Yeah, hey man, it's Richard. Listen, I know Elle's been missing in action, but I just want you to understand things have taken a really bad turn here. Yeah, no, that's not going to be possible. To be honest, your whole tone is pissing me off right now.
Yeah, you fucking tell him.
Yes, I understand you have a business to run. It's a very cliche thing to say to me in a time like this. Okay. Well, then I guess all I can say is screw you too. I said screw you too.
Yes, screw you.
Yeah, man, that's all I got.
Is your night going? So far, so good. Getting a little sad. This game's making me a tad bit sad.
Hey, this isn't funny, you know. What, you're too scared to talk to me? Well, just so you know, I know you're faking. Because if you were really sick, like actually sick, you'd have told me already. I happen to actually know about this stuff. So the fact that you are faking just so you don't have to go to school with me is actually ridiculous. I don't know.
No, I did not mean to do that.
I remember when you were just 4 years old. Mom was going through a pretty tough time.
No, I wouldn't want to hang up on her.
Yeah, her music had been rejected, and she's having trouble adjusting to her quiet little life out here, and I feared that I was losing her. But then you played this on the piano, and your little hands reaching up for the keys. She just couldn't believe how gifted you were. And once she heard that, well, it was like you brought her right back to me. So, I was wondering if maybe you could do that trick again. Try closing your eyes. See if you can remember.
Huh?
Wait, that's my piece. How did you figure out how to play that?
Uh-oh.
Keep playing, B. She's listening.
Yeah, his first love, she's just upset. Okay, moving on. So it's getting a lot worse. Quite a bit worse. Oh shit, we're on a... Is this a ventilator? Came here for snuggles, not struggles. It's a... Oh my god! We're dying tonight because there's no other reason that our cat would come back this night. I knew that this is... I love that cat. Also, I really like that card. Get whale soon. That would make me feel so much better. That's so sad.
What are you doing, Elle? She's gonna make you sick.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just so happy she's here.
It's like the cat that goes around to people whenever they're about to die. Oh.
She's been through more than we can even imagine. Oh, the poor fur. Richard, we have to give Ernie a haircut, okay?
I'm getting her a sashimi plate.
What?
Sashimi. Ooh, bougie. real quick, just for a real cat break. Shit, hold on. I was gonna show you Annie. Give me a second. Okay. Well, she'll be getting 2 treats. I'm sure she'll be fine with it. You ready? Here. Slight change in music. And Echo's coming in here too? Oh, well. Annie gets all the treats. And Noah's home now? Oh my gosh, what a time. Okay, well, time for some treats. Okay. Yeah, we love Annie. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break because I've been chugging down this water, and then we're gonna watch a child die, apparently. So I'll be right back. Man, this game, it's really getting me. Okay, Grayson, I'll tell him. Okay, I'll be right back. All right. 6'1". Woo! That is tall. Man. I am not 6'1", but I am like 5'11" or so. I'm on the brink. Not quite 6 feet. 4'10". Oh my gosh. Woof. There are definitely people shorter. We need a permanent Annie cam. If it were easier to do, I absolutely would do that. But she's a little far away. Whenever we rearrange the office, we'll definitely, I do want to get like a little Annie cam. Man. 5-1. Whew. All right. Well, are you guys ready to get back into it? We are... Okay, prepare yourselves. It's getting, Exactly. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, let's hear the line first. All right. Let's get going. Okay. I don't think this is good. Oh, more medicine too.
She hasn't been over. Like, she didn't even care to visit.
It's a good line.
No, I mean, I don't think he's told her.
And you're just letting that be?
I don't know her step. You know how Benny is.
She lost her mother a year ago. You knew that, right?
No, but what does that have to do with...
Okay, do we have her dad's number?
I don't know. Check the book.
Okay, I'm calling now.
Honey.
Let's call. 29 missed calls! Pick up the phone! It's just getting worse and worse. Oh no. Oh, it's not going away. Where's our cat? Where is the cat? Oh, I forgot we got to click to keep going.
Oh my god, you're an idiot.
Uh-oh.
You do realize this is really nothing special to me. I've seen this all before. I was thinking about what you said in the story the other day and how I reacted to it. I feel kind of bad. I shouldn't
Oh, it's
have
gonna be
done
stay
that.
here again.
But hey,
Oh no.
what are you looking at? Don't look up there. Look at me.
Oh no.
I'm talking to you.
Oh, no, it's going away.
I want to give you something, but I think I don't want to be in the room when you see what it is. So
What would happen if we
maybe
finish that?
If you close your eyes, I can give it to you, and I'm gonna leave. Close your eyes now, okay?
No, you left. Dear weird neighbor kid. Oh no. Grayson, it was cute. Oh no. Oh no, our thing's leaving a trail behind it. That's a lot of stuff. And we didn't drink anything. Uh-oh.
What is that?
It's something new I'm working on.
So you're writing again?
Ah, it's just a melody that came to me. It feels good to play it.
It's sad.
Yeah, well, that would make sense.
Oh.
But do you like it?
I mean, yeah. I love everything you do.
What do you like about it?
Not this old trap.
Go on. I'm waiting.
Oh my God.
Well, it made me feel like if the unspeakable darkness I'm carrying can be so well expressed, maybe it's not so unspeakable. Nailed it, didn't I?
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty good.
Well. Oh, that's not an option. Well. The metronome's getting slower and slower. And we're not eating. Oh no. Oh, the mouse is so slow, hard to move.
I know.
It's okay, Benny, I understand. There's no need to show me anymore.
No, Richard, it's like I can't breathe. Like there's this clamp on my chest.
Oh, what's happening?
No, it's okay.
You can come back to me now.
You have to do something. Richard, I can't breathe.
You know, for a while now, I've wondered if I'm just not a good enough storyteller.
Huh.
If I just don't have grand enough words, can't tell grand enough stories. But grand words and stories, I think they may be overrated.
Wait, that looks familiar.
Watch for her now. I've seen the gatekeeper take many forms depending on the soul.
It's gonna be his mom.
But once you see her, you'll know. Believe me. I should go get ready.
Either his mom or first love.
Don't worry. We got this. I think.
Oh, the agave. I just the cat. Honestly, it'd be so cute. It's the cat! Oh my god!
There she is.
I agree with Courtney on that one.
Wish me luck.
I agree with Courtney.
Gatekeeper, before you sits the soul of a child who died before he could grow old.
That means she's ready to hear your story.
Oh.
You know, I never told you how much I loved your story. It's really so imaginative. And the person you
He
wrote
died as a
about
child.
is such an interesting and intense guy. My only issue was, well, I didn't like him very much. So, I wanted to read you something I wrote for you, which is about the Benny I've known.
Shitting on our story,
for
damn.
11 years now. It's called The Great Life of Benjamin Bryn. Benjamin Bryn was born into an ordinary home, to an ordinary mother and father in a small town by the sea. His mother was a composer, or at least that's what she dreamed she'd be. So, when her own dreams didn't pan out, she began to dream for him. But then, when he was just 11 years old, he got sick and was forced to stay inside for an entire year. And in that year, he began to worry that he hadn't lived enough. So he made up a story of the great life he thought he wanted to live, which only made him forget the great life he already had. How he had filled a new home with light and joy and promise. How he met a girl, his neighbor, who felt all alone in the world and made her feel okay again. And how, even when he was sick, he still gave his parents hope. How he reminded them exactly who they were after they had almost forgotten. So when he knew he was going to go, he was okay. Because he'd already lived a great life, a full life. And he was everything he needed to be, just as he was.
She accepts.
Well, fancy
Close
that.
your eyes now, and keep them closed. She's gonna let you in.
Why is he smiling like that?
He must be somewhere that he likes.
Oh no. Oh. Well. Well, damn. What a game. All right. Well, that was a good game. Woo. Man. What'd you guys think? You cursed them on Twitter. No, no, no. No cursing on Twitter. Here was Flash. Man, this is a really good game though. I am a big fan of it. This is one of my favorite games that I've played so far story-wise. This Tell Me Why was really good. Like, it's up there. Oh my gosh. Damn. Man. Well, I hope they keep making, like, I mean, obviously, you know, they are, because this game just came out, but I hope there's some more story games like this that come out. I'm a big fan of the, like, a little bit of the sadder stuff sometimes, but honestly, you know, that's what gets you. Man. All right. Have a good night, Ollie. All right, I think, here, I'll leave this up in the background for now. I think we're gonna move on to some Valorant, I believe. Yeah. Something a little different. Yeah, that was a really good game. Hope you guys liked it as well. All right. I gotta see if there's anything at the end of the credits. I don't know if there is or not. Created and directed by ULS something something. Towards the bottom. Yeah, tomorrow we start a new game as well. We start Death Store. A very different game. Pull it up real quick, actually. That way you guys can kind of see what it looks like. That was such a great game. Right here. Oh, my bad. Well, here, I'll just look it up. What'd you guys think of it? I got a so sad from Grayson a little bit ago. All right, we have like, apparently there's multiple endings. I guess not. It was sad again. Oh wow. Yeah. I agree. I don't think there's an end credit scene. It does have a lot of sad moments and then a rough ending. You appreciate how it isn't typical movies games. Exactly. I like it. I feel like it did have a good ending, I guess, other than being rejected. Like, he could have been rejected is what I was going for, but yeah, I don't think. Yeah, there is no end credit scene. Woo! What a freaking game. Ooh. That was so freaking good. He must. It's all right. I mean, if you want to see, you can always, go back and watch it afterwards as well if you want. Here, and then here, I'm actually turn the music down. I'm gonna show off the game that we're gonna be starting tomorrow. It's called Death's Door. It's a little bit different than we normally do. You may have missed something in the last 30 seconds or so because your dad got home. I mean, yeah. If anything, like going back and rewatching it, it's like, because there's different endings, I guess. So just to see how it got there, that's something to do. But this is Death's Door. We're starting it tomorrow. I don't know too much about it, but it's a little different than what we normally play, and I thought it looked really cute, kind of like Studio Ghibli-like, just in like the art style is some of the stuff. And yeah, I thought it'd be really fun to play. It's kind of like a reminded me a little bit of Hollow Knight in a way. Yeah, just more of a longer game to start. Oh, talk about a pothead. That was a bad joke. But it's kind of like at least from what I can see, like a Metroidvania type game. I believe that's what they're called. Yeah, and it literally just came out like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we'll be starting it out tomorrow, which is very exciting. It does look really neat. I'm very, very excited to try it. All right. I'm going to uninstall before your eyes real quick. Let me see if Noah wants what Noah's thinking here, what we'll be playing. And I'll be right back. I just gotta double check. Okay. BRB. And I'll let you guys know what we're playing next. All right. What I think we might do is we might just end the night playing some DBD Killer. And that's probably gonna be how we're gonna end things here. Sounds good. Gonna go socialize. All right. Fun. We'll probably play a couple games and then I'll call it for the night. Yeah, it was a good game. I'm excited for the game tomorrow, and yeah. They're kind of like shorter story games as well, so, you know, it's pretty much one stream and you get all of it in. Is that a yawn emote? Oh, I see, I see. All right. I think everything's switched over. Yeah, we're gonna be working on some stuff in the tome. And then working on like daily challenges and stuff like that. Man, that game. After a game like that, I don't know what to do with myself. Woo. Well, hopefully we can get some couple good games in tonight, get some progress on the tome, get a couple things in the Rift. The new tome comes out in a day or two, I think. I'd have to double check. Let me see. Archives. Okay. Two days. All right. 2 yellow glyphs. This is a survivor challenge. What do we have killer wise? Break 20 walls, pallets, or generators. We got 3 out of 20. All right. I feel like we can do that. We need to spend some blood points though. 911,000. How do we get so much? Oh, time to prestige him, I guess. Prestige 1. Okay. Hey, we got a bloody gun. I think we might go ahead and put that on. Because we've been using the gun that's in the other thing. It really is a lot of blood points. And they're gonna be gone just like that. Oh. But I'm prestiging people anyways. That's the goal. I'm not too mad about it. And we've been playing Deathslinger a little bit recently. We need to get a little better at him. We're not too good at firing his stuff, to be honest. God. But I have Steve pretty much all the way. And I'm gonna be playing him mainly because why not? But the killers, I can't just play one person and have everything I need. Unfortunately, but also fortunately. So yeah. You know, he goes, this guy's Deathslinger, he goes pew pew, and then he hooks you in and reels you in, gives you a little smack, a little stabby stab, you know? Only level 9. Oh. It takes so long to do this. I wish there was a faster way. Oh well. Yeah, people don't like going against him too much, but yeah, it's okay. Nurse calling 2. That'll come in handy. We got nurses, pop. Oh, those are really the only other 2 that I really care about right now. But I figure we can get all this stuff on him. I don't know. I hate going against him too, really. No, this is just from, yeah, it's an original character from them. Pretty much just Wild West inspired, you know? That's the main thing. All the IP characters are like Resident Evil and all that. Can't find another man that pulls you close like Dustslinger. Looking on the bright side, I guess. That is definitely one way to look at it. I don't know if I'd quite say the same thing. But gosh dang. There you go, Grayson. You just get you a Deathslinger in your life. Man. 540,000. We're only level 18. Oh gosh, it's taking so long. I think we'll get him up there and then we'll play him a little bit and use some of his stuff and get him back up to like 1 million if we can. Not tonight, we won't have the time, but just overall. Even if he kills you, as long as we had fun. Yeah, it's the friends we made along the way. Oh man. It's the sickness as a child that kills you. And the friends you made along the way. All the first loves. You're attracted to girls who aren't attracted to you. Oh no. Well, just don't. Easy. Come on. Just don't be. Easy peasy. There's your advice for the day. That one's free. Anything past that costs you. Oh no. Again, same advice. Just don't. Easy. Just don't be. I got you. No worries. It's the same advice, so I'm not charging for that, you know. What about you? Do you have a tall brother? Or a short brother? My bad. You have like opposite siblings? Yeah, free advice. It's great. Fantastic advice, actually. Yeah, sure. I don't really... The perk is kind of meh. 300,000! Slow and steady. For brother, but he's married. Oh no. Yeah. I think you're out of luck there. I think you're out of luck. Rip. Know anybody else with brothers? Exactly. I'm glad you're taking my advice. Just don't. Easy. Easy. Gosh dang. I'll do unrelenting. Why not? Fuck it up. I guess I am going for a little bit more expensive stuff to use. I run out of stuff on him so fast because I play him so much and then I just don't... Like, I don't level him up. But now we're leveling him up, so... Should be okay. 30. Ooh, we're getting pretty far. We'll do this one. This gives us, this blocks the gate, right? Oh, the opening in the gate. It's kind of like, the Trickster has one like that, but it completely blocks it so they can't open it for a certain amount of time. Now that's a good perk. Only thing you can leave is the spitting. I know. I'm not a big fan of that either. Like, what are you trying to do? It's gross. Don't. When people do that, it's just, not a big fan myself. I'm with you on that one. See, there he goes again. What an absolute... Man. Gosh dang. I mean, if you're into it, Sure. Okay. This is going all sorts of places. All sorts of places. Shaking my head. You too. Third seal. Retribution. Any survivor who cleanses a totem will be oblivious. Sure. Why not? You two are something else. Tell you that. 24,000. We're getting there. Well, the stream is rated M. Oh, man. I guess good thing I put it there. Yikes. All right. Let's go ahead and put some perks on. Got this bad boy. We'll get... yeah, overwhelming presence. Overcharge. Nerpus. Nerpus calling. And we got a lot of stuff over here. Let's see. Decreases stun duration when survivors break free. Movement speed is increased when aiming down the sights. Terror radius cut down. We do have monitor and abuse. Gives them deep wounds. Makes them mangled. We're going to do this one. And this one, which we move a little slower when aiming, but our terror radius is down quite a bit, especially with that other perk there. And survivor soup. Let's check out that gun, though. What kind of... we got a bloody gun. Ooh, nasty. I'm ready. Let's go break some pallets and walls and generators and... yeah. Woo. Shit, we're getting right into a game. All right. I don't have Franklin's, though. It should be fine. Knock on some wood. I'm ready. Let's go. Crusty egg. I'm ready for you. Crusty egg and Ninja Gumby. Oh, we're going with the Fang Squad. Ooh. I'm not going to know the difference between these two Fangs. I'm honestly fine with the games being fast. I'd rather get into a game and play it and then, you know, whenever I get out, be able to get right back into one. Like, I'm fine with that. It's, man. It's a little frustrating sometimes having to wait forever for a game. Especially late. Hello. Especially late at night whenever you're playing Killer or Survivor. Not Killer. And you have like a group, especially waiting so long. Oh my God. I'm fine with the quick games. Oof. Waiting for Survivor is a lot. Like, I'll just be on my phone sometimes just playing, it's like going through TikTok, not playing TikTok, but I'm just swipping through. Swiping. Yeah. All right. Game volume. All right. We're recovering from the sad game. Damn. Such a good game. I was like, yeah, this game looks cool. I saw it on TikTok. I'm like, awesome. Man. I wish the blinking worked. Like, it's such a cool thing, but my computer, I had to restart stream because it wouldn't, like, you couldn't hear me or anything. Ugh. Like, it was being dumb. So I think it was just a bad day to do that. Oh shit, look at our gun. It's like moving. Oh, that's cool as frick. All right, so we got overcharge, pop, nerpus, and monitor and abuse. Hey! Right away! Hey! We're gonna go ahead and... You okay? Ninja Gumby, no! What the fuck? I didn't want to open that. How are you so fast? Off to bed now. Have a good night. Thanks for coming by. Sleep well. All right. Be over in the morning for the date. Ooh, exciting. We got Pop. Let's go over to this gym. They're working on it. I don't know how far. Oh, going to the wrong one apparently. Woo! French toast. Oh, frick. That sounds so good. I'm hungry. Man. Up IHOP? You guys got a whole date planned. Sounds fun. Which Fang? Did we already get that Fang? Well, now you're injured. You know that's on purpose because you're injured. Why are you crouching? All right. Wow. Wow. All right. 2 hooks so far. Not terrible. And everybody's over here. Crusty egg. Come on, get her off the hook. Yeah, trading places. What a fun time. I'm not getting to use Pop, though. Come on, girl. Okay, they both healed. Do you have DS? Do you? Well, if you did, you missed it. That's unfortunate. All right, so far so good. Like they're, well, they can't give me slack after the game. Okay, let's go over to this side of the map. We have not been over here once. I got some Pop I need to use. Just kidding. They're both over there. This nurse is really coming in handy, though. Nerp is calling. All right, Ninja Gumby. You had your chance. I hooked your other friends. Your turn again. Just copy Death Singer. Interesting crowd tonight. All right, Crusty Egg. All right, is this Crusty Egg? I don't think so. I'll pick her up and then just... I think there's a hook over here. Oh, the basement. Heck yeah, let's go to the basement. You're just gonna get hooked right here because I feel like I wasted a lot of time just looking for a hook. And you're dead. Okay. Okay. Are we healing? I feel like we might be healing. All right, well, let's go look for some gens. I don't know where anybody else is, but I feel like they're getting the hell out of there. All right. And they're running this way? Much confusion. And I'll go after you, because I can't hit shit. All right. You are now injured. Let's go, let's go. We got this. Not even trying to loop. Just trying to heal? Giving your friends away? And friend down. Oh, she also needs to mend. Ooh. Look at us go. Look at us go. Oh, she's dead. Okay. So one person's only been hooked once. That's a glitch. That sound is going on forever. Hi, Kia. You missed a really sad game that we just played. You missed it. It was really good. Whoa. You are a little late. It was... If you want to go back and watch it, I would absolutely recommend. It was... I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything. But it's an amazing game. So that's her first hook. Now, where's your friend? I'm sure they're not too far off. Go get him! Oh no, do you have BT? But it's one of my favorite games now. Like, honestly, one of my favorite games. Oof. All right, where's your friend? Sorry, I have to. Well, anyways, what are you up to tonight, Kia? What you got going on? Oh, also, we're starting a new game tomorrow night called Death's Door. And before we played Before Your Eyes tonight, we played Security Booth, which was kind of spooky. Short game. We're going to be playing games from the same developer throughout August and September. So, yeah, they're really fun. I'm a big fan of them. The struggle sounds are so much louder, like the crying. All right, here we go. Rusty egg. Sorry. The Fang Squad did not make it. I did not mean to do that. That was a complete accident. That seemed a little toxic. Yeah, you can still hear the, like, whining. The that sound? Weird. You'd be working right now, but you cover for a first shifter, so you're just resting. Ah. Nice, nice. So did you just get off a little bit ago, I guess? Like 20 walls, pallets, generators. And, of course, this game, we did not do much. And GG's. Can't say anything, but oh well. Yeah, we're just gonna be playing a couple games tonight, but we're not dropping a whole bunch of frames, at least not terribly. Like there's a few here and there, but nowhere near as much as we were before. 3 hours ago, but a friend came over. Oh, that sounds so much, sounds like a lot of fun. I can't talk today. But no, it sounds like a lot of fun. And the game we're playing tomorrow is, if you're able to catch it, I would definitely recommend, because it is a very cool game. And I'm very excited. I haven't looked up too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is very cool, like a Metroidvania type game. All right, we got to break more pallets. Let's place some more Death Slinger. And Survivor Pudding, here we go. Yeah, so probably like 1 or 2 more games here. Just because I'm feeling a little tired since I worked today. It was a pretty chill time. Most of the time was spent, like, I guess the hardest part was setting up and then tearing stuff down at the very end. But other than that, I just kind of stood around and talked, and like I was on my phone and just kind of looking at stuff. So yeah, wasn't too bad, if I do say so myself. But the people stayed for a little bit longer than usual. So yeah. But overall, pretty good. I got a cupcake out of it, which was... Mwah. And then I worked a wedding last night and got some of the wedding cake. Oh my god, it was such good cake. Oh, so good. Oh, also, for schedule. We are... Like I said, tonight and then tomorrow night, Tuesday, I find out when I'm working this week. So the next stream that we have is going to be the community game night, whether that be next Sunday or Monday. I know Monday for sure I have off. So it might end up being Monday night that we do the community game night, just because I know for sure that I have that. But if there's any other day that's a little sooner, I'll let everybody know, enough time to know that it's happening, other than, hey, this is tomorrow or 2 days from now. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm excited for some of the games we have coming up, because I have some stuff planned out. This is the first new game we played in a little while, actually, and I am so glad we played it. And then we're starting Death's Door tomorrow. It's a little bit of a longer game. So we're going to be playing that over, the rest of the month, as well as Valorant and Dead by Daylight, and then a couple other shorter games here and there. Yeah, I got that planned out. I have September planned out, or if any other, games pop up on my radar that look really good, I'm just hoping to play some more story games as well, just kind of mixed in there. Play games that I don't normally. And then October, lots of spooky stuff that month. October is gonna be so fun. I love October. But yeah, I've started prepping a lot more for stream, just because I have, I've decided to sit down and plan out a couple months what I want to be doing, and it helps me balance out and get because I want to play a variety of games. It helps me kind of figure out what's going on. Wish it didn't work on your stream. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, if you ever don't catch one, I always there's always VODs, and there's always VODs, and then we have there's if you look up Cap Soty VODs on YouTube, there's a channel where I upload them all. So if you ever want to like go back and watch one, or didn't get a chance to catch it, or you want to watch it all, it's on YouTube as well, just because it's easier to archive and easier to go back on, and they don't expire. So I think that's pretty nice. Steve. Yeah. Exciting stuff there. Yeah, I'm just trying to plan things out to make it more balanced and plan out more events, because we have the community game night coming up. And guys. And I'm planning to do more exciting things as well coming up here in the future. Whether that be cosplay streams during Halloween, or more like community-based stuff, or just, you know, just whatever, honestly. Or if anybody has any ideas for anything that would be cool to do, or something they saw another streamer do that they really liked, let me know. Hey, Liddy. Ah, come on. I know I keep backtracking, but still. Fuck. All right, we got to be a little bit of a butthole here. No, I want Steve. God damn it. I did not mean to get her. Oh. Yeah, I also might do some day streams here and there. But the problem is, not a lot of people are available during the day, and I'm also not very available during most days. But we'll see, and especially, you know, we're growing a little bit. We got 300, you know, friends following here. So I mean, if we keep going, we might have, you know, some more cool stuff coming up, more opportunities. We'll see. Well, anyways, what else we got going on? Any fun stuff coming up for you? More cooking? Yeah, more cooking streams. Exactly. Noah and I have a fun idea for like a little YouTube video we want to do that's cooking related. So I'm excited for that. It's I want to be doing that sometime here soon. Yeah. I'm also trying to make more YouTube stuff, but it's also hard. That's a little more outside of my experience, so I wouldn't expect anything regular there, but I will be trying to do stuff. Because there's a one for VODs, one for like uploading gameplay stuff, and then one for non-gameplay stuff, just kind of other ideas, like, you know, the cooking stuff or whatever else. Like I said, it takes a little more time to do that than to like set up a stream and like sit down and be like, I'm gonna be playing this is what we're gonna be doing, and like going through all these like activities and games and stuff like that. Like, it's still something, but like it's a little easier because it's like you just kind of sit down and you're like, all right, we're gonna do it. But yeah. All right, Steve. Steve's over here. Hey, Steve, my boy. Where's he gonna go? Hey, we got him. Don't go to the pallet. No, 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 no. And he DC'd. Okay. People don't like the Dust Slinger. I can't say I blame them. But yeah, I also have to wait to do more cooking related stuff for when I have more free time as well. It's going to be a busy semester. Oh, where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, this is a bad idea. This guy. This guy. Oh yeah, I forgot I had overcharge on. Ooh, bougie. Bad and bougie. That's basically nothing now. Oh no. I like Pop way too much. Pop and Franklin's are the most annoying perks. But man, do I love them. Where are we going? I want to use Pop. I think I get to use Pop. Oh, we also prestige Deathslinger, so that's exciting. They're very exciting. We are almost to prestige 2. Give or take. All right, we have 4 more hooks until we are 4K'd. All right, go ahead and use Pop on this, just because it is so far along. Steve! Hey, Steve! Oh wait, that's Meg. Where you going? Where you going? Yeah. We got it. We got it. We got the Dustslinger toxicity going right now. I'm not trying to be mean, I promise. I promise you so very much. 2 left. And then there were... Oh! And then there were 2. Very questionable. You know what? Basement it is. There's no basement over here. I take it back. We're going to this hook. You're gonna like it. Arr. Very dad thing to say. Oh, and Annie got all of her treats all at once tonight. And she loved it. She missed not getting so many treats. We gave her a couple treats throughout the week, but she did not get as much as usual. I gotta go use Pop real quick. I'm sorry, Liddy. Bonk. I'm so sorry. Isn't there hatch already? Oh no, there's somebody hooked still. Hatch doesn't spawn until they're... Yeah, that's why she was healing herself. Makes sense. It makes sense. I feel kind of mean. Two merciless in a row. You know, I actually think that might be where we end it. I'm just feeling tired. I need to lay down. I pretty much came straight from work. I'm feeling a little hungry. I came straight from work here, showered, changed, and started this up. Yeah, let's level up what we can and see what we unlocked real quick. Meh. Streamer life. I know. It's fun, though. It's a fun time hanging out with you guys. And, playing these fun games. Big fan. Let's see. Before we go, though, I want to see if there's anybody we can raid. See if there's somebody that, is online that I know, or maybe just, you know, met recently, maybe that would be fun to raid. Let's see. Oh, here, real quick. There's some Annie. Just for you. Just for you all. Okay. Anybody online? I do not see anybody. Huh. I don't know. Man. Well, I guess this is gonna be it. I do not see anybody online. Well, thanks for coming by. If you didn't catch the game before your eyes, if you didn't catch it, absolutely go back and watch it. Or if somebody else is playing it, absolutely go take a look. It's an amazing game. Great art style, great music. It's a fun time. And yeah, I'm a big fan of that game. We're going to be playing Death's Door tomorrow. We might start a bit early, maybe like 5 instead of 6. I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys posted on Discord, !Discord, or Twitter, or Instagram, whatever you follow on. If you do, and if you don't, go for it. There you go. You just got it. Well, anyways, Death's Door tomorrow. I'll let you guys know Tuesday or Wednesday when Community Game Night is going to be. If not, expect it to be Monday. And until then, have a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.